All right, so welcome. And our theme this week is again from the Yoga Sutras, as it will be for each of the classes this session. And there's the idea of light comes up a few times in the Yoga Sutras. And in the first chapter, he says, Vishoka va Jyotishmati. And basically, it comes within a bunch of sutras that are trying to help us to find more ease, more peace in ourselves. So one of the things that he says is that we could meditate on light to feel more light, to feel more easeful. And later in the second chapter, he says something to the effect of when we practice pranayama, when we practice breathing, and breathing can include the postures that we do because we're always coordinating breath and movement together. So doing the asana practice is also a kind of pranayama or breath practice. So when we do those breath practices, when we really focus and bring our mind to attention, we uncover our natural inner light. So it's not like we get light from outside of us, but that we uncover that light from within us. So today we're going to work with the idea of light, of expanding light within us. It's been a kind of, in my opinion, a gray spring, at least here north of Highway 7. And we had some gorgeous sun over the weekend, and I felt my mood really expand and lift. So hopefully that was your experience as well. But we can also connect to that light from within to try to bridge those times when it's so sunny out. And I think most people feel better when the sun is shining. So kind of a universal human thing. I've got some hot lemon water here. All right, so we're going to start seated today. So if you have a chair or your couch, you want to sit there, that's fine. I'm going to sit on my cushion on the floor, and I will meet you there. Just get my screen tilted properly. So find a comfy seat. It really doesn't matter where or how you're sitting as long as your spine is relaxed and long. And just take a moment to settle. So letting go of whatever came before. And coming into this place. We'll do a brief check-in. Taking a moment to notice how your body feels. So notice the whole periphery of your body, the skin layer, and that layer that meets the outside world. Notice things like temperature. Notice pressure on your skin where you may be touching your hands to your legs or your feet to the ground. So notice that pressure wherever it's present. And see if you can notice if you're holding tension at that peripheral or skin level. Sometimes the wrinkles around the eyes get a little deeper when we're holding tension, or around the mouth. So see if you can soften your skin, soften the skin of your face, but softening the skin of your whole body. Then take a moment to tune into your breath. Just notice the breath as it is without needing to change it at all. And then start to notice within your body how you're feeling. So notice any kind of maybe physical feelings within sort of the muscles, the joints, the organs, so anything interior, inside your skin. And again, finding a little softening where possible. Imagine light. And then we're going to take the hand on mudra where the sides of the hands are together and the hands are out like a bowl in front of you. And imagine that light sitting in your hands. And then I'm going to share with you a very small piece of a longer chant, and you may be familiar with it. The meaning of the words is I am light. And it sounds like this. Jyotiraham. Jyotiraham. So you're welcome to chant that along with me. You're welcome to just listen. But we're going to take this light, and as we chant, it's like we're washing it over us. So taking it from the head all the way down the body like a shower, and then gathering more like we're scooping it up and bringing it all the way down in and through the body. Breathing in. Jyotiraham. Scooping, breathing in. Jyotiraham. Scooping. Jyotiraham. 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 And one more. Jyotiraham. And then bring the palms out front again, hands in that bowl shape. And as if we could draw that light and concentrate it, bringing the palms together, leaving a bit of space, bringing the hands to the heart. So today we'll work with the breath and work with this idea of light, focusing on light to help us feel a little lighter perhaps. And if light doesn't come easily to you today, if you're feeling kind of heavy or dark or depressed, know that there's no value in forcing the light. Perhaps try connecting instead with compassion for where you're at. All right, so let's take the palms now and we'll do a few circles for the wrists. So you'll bring the hands, thumbs together, palms down, backs of the hands together, roll the fingers towards you, and then come back out to Anjali Mudra. Gather that light, and then bring the hands, backs of the hands together, fingertips in, down, round, and holding that light into your heart. So again, rolling out, waiting, feeling that light in your hands and drawing it in, back to the heart. Let's do that once more. Pause there to really feel the weight, even though light is weightless, but to feel that weight of light in your hands and then draw it in. All right, and this time we'll lift that light up And send it all around you, almost like a rainbow. And again, hands together. Lift up big circle, spreading it out. Great, and then making this your last one. Right, we'll bring the hands down. And you can, if you're sitting on the ground, you can just roll up onto your knees and take your feet and uncross them behind you, or however else you want to get to all fours. Now I'm going to remove one of my jackets. Spring is a tricky time when the heat's not on. It can be chilly in the house and sometimes even warmer outside. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's start with some cat-cow movement. Soft elbows and shoulders. Exhaling, you can move to child's pose or stay on all fours. Keeping the weight even on your hands. Be careful not to crank the head back. We often have this tendency to go as far as we can. Think about the head creating a nice arc in line with your spine, and then tucking it in as you round or come to child's pose. Right, you can start to add on now. So as you come to all fours, you can take opposite arm and leg, reach them out, and then exhale, come in. Inhale, reaching out, exhale, child's pose. And then if you like, if it works for you, you might even pause after your inhale for a moment while you're in that position, and then exhale fully, child's pose. Or you could come to cat pose instead of child's pose. So reach out, maybe pause for a breath. Or sorry, not a breath, for a second or two. Right, and then do a couple rounds without lifting the arms and legs. So just back to that straight movement, and eventually maybe taking a moment in child's pose. And you could rest your head on the ground or on your hands. And send your breath into the back of your body. Again, you might imagine light coming in. You can hold the light by holding the breath for a second or two, and then exhale completely. You don't want to hold the breath if it feels like a strain for you, but if it feels like it's energizing and brings more attention to your breath, you can certainly hold the inhale briefly. Eventually make your way back up to all fours. And we'll start to move into downward dog. So coming up into downward dog, bend your knees, lengthen out through the torso and the arms, check in with your shoulders. And if you're comfy here, you can walk your feet in place a few times, stretching out the calves. And eventually coming down to all fours. Back to child's pose for a few breaths. And then from child's pose, let's lift all the way up to high kneeling. Find a little lift in the heart, reaching the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, turn the palms up to the lower back. Bring the head down to child's pose. Folding in and then expanding out. So palms reach side by side, facing each other, overhead, and then palms on the lower back, or sorry, backs of the hands on the lower back, palms facing up. Inhale as you lift. You can, again, hold for a second as long as that's comfortable, and then exhale completely. All right, this time when we come upright, instead of bringing the hands behind the back in child's pose, we're going to come forward, hands to the ground. Inhale up to all fours. And exhale, move into downward dog. And from downward dog, let's step 1 foot forward. Could be the left or right. We're going to do both, so it doesn't really matter which one you start with. Take your back foot, turn it to the side so that your whole foot is on the ground, and we'll work dynamically with warrior, lifting up into the back bend of warrior. And then keeping the spine long, coming forward over the front leg, hands again behind the back, just as we did in child's pose. So inhale, lifting. You can keep the front knee bent. Exhale, long spine coming forward. Keep the chest lifting. A couple more like that. You can stay this time. So if you want to make things more challenging as you're staying, you can take the arms to the sides, find a little lift in the heart, or overhead in front. Try not to let the back round, so keep lifting the chest. Good. When you're ready, you can bring the hands down, either to blocks or to the floor, or if you need it, to a chair or counter in front of you. Maybe move the front leg a little more straight. Let the head release down for a few breaths. And then let's step back to downward dog. From downward dog, come down to all fours. Take a breath in. Exhale, move into child's pose. Inhale, lift all the way up. Find that little bit of a back bend. You can even pause for a second after your inhale, and then exhale, child's pose, arms in front. Inhale, all fours. Exhaling, downward dog. Whichever foot was back last time will come forward this time. And again, you'll turn your back foot out so that the whole foot is on the ground. And we'll lift all the way up, warrior one. And as you exhale, keep that lift in the chest. Arms come back. The head releases just so it's in line with the spine. So it's not cranked up or falling forward, but nicely in line with the spine. Continue. Lifting with an inhale, forward as you exhale. This time you could stay for a few breaths. So from position with the hands behind the back, you could stay there. If you want it easier, hands come to the knee. More challenging, arms to the sides, lift the heart, or arms overhead. Keep lifting the heart and breathing. From here, you can release the hands down, move the front leg a little straighter if that's available to you. Otherwise, keep it bent or move from bent to straight. Let your head release as much as possible here. And then we're going to step forward, bringing the feet side by side. Take your hands to your shins and lengthen with a breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Take another breath or two here. You can cross your arms or bring the hands to the, or elbows to the thighs if you like, whatever's comfortable. And when you're ready, come all the way up with a breath in. As if you're gathering light overhead, bring the hands together and back to the heart. So let's do a little more warming up before we get into our sun salutations. You can take the feet a little bit apart and we'll rotate the shoulders. One shoulder goes back, let the whole body twist, and then the other shoulder. Continue like that. If you want a little more, you can bring the elbows up or even the whole arm moving. Right, and then coming back to the center, let's lift both shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades in, squeeze and drop down, and then forward again. Breathe in, and then squeeze and pull down. All right, and then let the shoulders relax, bring the hands to the hips. We'll circle the hips a few times. You can go one direction and then the other way. Right, and let's come back to the center. Let your arms come down to the sides. Let's do a little bit of side bending to open the sides of the body a bit. So taking one arm up, breathing in. Soften your knees. As you exhale, reach straight over to the side. Inhale, come up and switch arms. And then exhale over to the other side. So inhale, lift, switch as you lift. Exhale to the side. Switching as you inhale. Exhaling as you reach and lengthen over. We'll make this the last one. Maybe over to the other side too, if you remember where you started. Finish on the other side. And come back to the center. So let's take the feet even a little bit wider. Take a breath in and reach the arms up. Bring the palms together overhead. Pause for a split second. And then release, and with a long spine, come forward, sweeping the hands toward the ground. And then we'll inhale and sweep the arms out to the sides and up. So like you're gathering light, pause at the top of your inhale, holding that light, and then spreading it out all around you. Again, if pausing after the inhale is uncomfortable or creates agitation or anxiety, just let that go. Breathe normally. At this time, you're welcome to stay in the forward bend if that's comfortable for you. From here, if you like, you can walk the hands over to one side. You can bend that knee slightly, bring the head toward the knee. Walk back over to the middle and then to the other side. You can bend that knee a little, bring the head toward the knee. Right, coming back to the center. We'll walk back to the first side. And now you're going to turn that foot all the way around to the side and turn the back foot so you're up on the ball of your foot and you come into lunge. You might need to step the back foot back a little. And in lunge, fingertips lightly on the ground. Think about back hip moving forward, forward hip moving back, back of the neck long. And then taking the arms out to the sides or overhead. From there, try lifting all the way up. And then exhale, come down. We're going to turn the back foot, walk the hands around back to the center, turning the front foot. So you're back in that Wide-legged forward bend. You can hang here for a breath or two. And then we'll walk the hands to the other side, turning that foot all the way out. Bringing the hands on either side of your front foot, lifting the back heel and rotating that foot. Bending the front knee so it's over the ankle. Squaring the hips here. So back hip moves a little forward, forward hip moves back, and we're engaging the muscles around the hips and thighs. And then perhaps, if you want to make things more challenging, arms to the sides or overhead. Keeping the spine lifting. So we're not here, but here. And then from there, try lifting all the way up. Big breath in, exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to come back around to the side. Breathe in, come to your fingertips, bend your knees a little, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold forward. Take a few breaths here. And then we'll come all the way up, breathing in. Bringing the palms together overhead. Exhale and release. And then you can walk the feet in towards each other. And come back to Tadasana. Turn the palms out, take a breath in, lift up as if you're gathering light. Bring the palms together like you could concentrate that light overhead. And then exhale, spread it all around you, reaching toward the ground. Inhale, half forward bend, hands to the shins or the knees. And then exhale to release and fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms come together and into the heart. So we'll move into a sun salutation from here. So you can align yourself on your mat so you've got space to step back behind you and also space, a little bit of space in front of you. So feeling your heels sink down, feel that little lift in the heart, and imagine that light between your palms, connecting with the light in your own heart. So it's like when we bring two candle flames together, they shoot up and get more intense. We bring this light in the hands to the heart. The light in the heart starts to dance with the light in the hands. And then lifting that light with the hands up overhead. Breathing in, pause for a second as long as that's comfortable, and then spread that light all around you as you come forward, releasing your head completely in that forward bend. And then inhale, half forward bend, crown of the head reaching away. Exhale, fold forward. Let's take the right foot, step back into lunge. Lengthen the torso and find a nice long line from your back heel to the crown of your head. Try to make that line straight. And then you can arc that line by lifting. Coming up with the breath in, finding a back bend. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Let's step back to plank. Pause here in plank. Feel your strength. Body again in a straight line from your heels to the crown of your head, or from the knees to the crown of your head if that's better for you. From here, you can either lower the knees down first or come from feet and hands, bend the elbows. You can either roll down from your knees or come down in a half push-up. Let the feet come flat behind you, forehead down. Draw your elbows into your sides, squeeze them in, and then inhale, lift your chest and head. Keep squeezing the elbows in, shoulders down, crown of the head reaching away from your tail. From here, you can lift first to all fours or come straight up to downward dog. From your downward dog, we're going to step forward with the same foot that stepped back. So for me, it's the right. I'm going to find that long line. So for some, that means dropping the hips a little. If the hips are way up here, there's a bent line between the heel and the crown of the head. So we're looking to straighten that line by dropping the hips, squaring the hips to find strength, and then arcing by lifting. Totally optional to lift, of course. When you're ready, exhale, hands down, and step forward. Let your head release. Take a breath here. And then we'll inhale to a flat back or half forward bend. Exhale to fold forward. Gather the light. Bring it up as if you're gathering it in your hands, palms together. Pause here. And then exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. And pause here. So again, taking the light from the heart, drawing it and lifting it up to meet the light in the sky, and then spreading it out, bending forward. Coming into your forward bend. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthening. Exhale, fold forward. We'll step back with the other foot this time. So for me, it's the left. Again, find that long line so hips are low. If there's a little bit of a lift at your hips, that's fine if that's where you need to be comfortable. Think about squaring the hips. So generally the front hip is moving back, the back hip is moving a little forward. You can bring the hands up onto the knee. Start to lift and lengthen, walking the hands back. So if you've got your right foot forward, you can leave the left hand on the knee or on the thigh. Reach up with the right arm, breathing in, and then exhale, circle it around. So breathe in, exhale, little partial twist, little circle with the arm. Right, and then this time as the arm is coming through, you can bring the hands down, step back to plank. Again, you can lower the knees if you like. And again, you're either coming down in a straight line with your body, or you can bend the elbows and roll from the thighs, belly, chest to forehead. Let the feet come flat, unless that's going to cause cramps for your feet, and then keep them tucked under. Elbows in. Press down into the hips and thighs, squeezing to anchor the lower body. And then inhale, lifting cobra. And if you want to work a little harder here, lift your hands. Breathing here. We'll take a couple of breaths in cobra. And then you can either come first to all fours or lift straight up to downward dog. Take a few breaths in downward dog here. You can walk on the spot if that feels good. And then whichever foot stepped back, we'll step forward now. So for me, it's the left. Again, finding that long line, so low hips and lunge. And start to bring your hands up onto your front knee and lengthen. And then opposite hand to front leg. Now lift the arm. Turn as you bring the arm down. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you bring it down. Please bend your elbow or make your circle smaller if it's uncomfortable on your shoulder at all. Okay, next time the arm is coming around, you can bring the hands down and we'll step forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale to fold forward. Take another breath or two here. Bend your knees, soften, check in with your head and neck, let go. And then when you're ready, we'll come all the way up. Breathing in. Palms coming together, gathering that light, bringing it down to the heart. Let it connect with the light in your own heart to whatever extent you feel that connection. If you're not feeling that connection today, just come back to the breath. And then exhale to release the hands. Right, we're going to come into another sun salutation and switch things up a little bit this time. So taking a breath in, bringing the palms together, and bring the hands to the heart, connecting with your inner light, and then inhaling to lift that light. Exhale, come forward. Adding the half forward bend, hands to shins, lengthening. Exhale, releasing to fold forward. Let's take the right leg back and turn it to the side for a warrior. So your foot is, if it's your right foot that's stepped back, your toes are pointing toward the right. We'll inhale and lift to warrior one. Great, so for this one, we're going to come back forward as we did earlier, keeping the arms to the sides, letting the chest come toward the front thigh. And you can start to lift the back heel. As you lift the leg, internally rotate the leg so the toes point down, coming into warrior three. Stepping back to warrior one. Breathing in and lifting. Exhale, come forward, bringing the front leg a little straighter. Let your head release and take a breath here. From here, we'll step back to downward dog. From downward dog, lowering your knees to come to all fours. Take a breath in, bend your elbows, a little chest forward, coming into the cow position, and then exhale, child's pose. And take a couple of breaths in child's pose. And we'll come back up to all fours. Exhale, downward dog. If you stepped earlier back with your right foot, you're now going to step forward with your right. So we're on the opposite side. Your left foot can turn out, so your foot is on the ground. Inhale, lifting. So coming to warrior one. And then we'll come to that forward position, keeping the spine long, arms to the sides, chest coming toward the thigh. And then slowly step onto your front foot. You can internally rotate the back leg as it lifts. Keep the chest lifting and breathe. Long neck. Step back, warrior one. All right, from warrior one, bring your hands down. We're going to Oh yes, we'll stay here for a few breaths, moving the front leg a little straighter if that's a good stretch for you. And then we'll step back to downward dog. Let your head go here. Draw your elbows in towards each other to open up the back of your shoulder blades, almost like you're trying to pull your hands together on your mat. Feel your arms strong. Bend your knees if you feel rounded in your lower back. And eventually lower your knees to your mat. Inhale, soft elbows, chest coming forward, breathing in, and then exhale. Move to child's pose for a few breaths. and then coming back up to all fours. And you may need to adjust your position on your mat. I'm just going to move back a little bit so that you've got space to take your hands forward. So to about a little ahead of your shoulders, so that when you come forward into plank, your shoulders and wrists line up, and then from there we'll lower down. You can let the hands come forward so the elbows are on the ground, and you're going to press down into your hips and thighs to anchor your lower body. Press down into your lower arms and pull back with your arms towards your hips. So you're lengthening with a little traction, lengthening your spine. So the hips and the legs are anchored, the hands are anchored. We're lengthening the spine. And then from this nice long place in the spine, we're going to lift up. So press down into the hips a little more, really firm the legs. And next inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the head, lift the legs. And then exhale, lower down. I've got the microphone, so I'm not going all the way down, but you can bring the forehead right down and then lift. Breathing in, exhale to lower. And then you could stay for a few breaths. If you want to work more, reach your arms out overhead. When you're ready to come out, bring the palms back to the ground beside you. Let the legs lower. You can actually bring your head onto your hands for a moment. Bend your knees and take the legs side to side a few times. Great, and then come back to the center. You're going to stretch the legs out behind you. Bring the arms back behind you. Start with the palms facing the ceiling. Bend your knees. Flex your feet. Press down into your hips. See if you can lift the knees a little off the ground. Again, your forehead can be on the ground for this. Press down into your hips. Maybe lift the knees. And then release. And whether the knees lift or not is not important. The idea is really anchoring down. And then when you press down into the hips this time, think about lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the hands, turning the palms to face each other behind you, maybe lifting the knees. And holding here for a couple of breaths. And relax the legs, bring the palms to the floor beside your shoulders, beside your rib cage. Lift to all fours. And we're going to do a few circles with the hips. You can walk the knees in under your hips, circling the hips around. Go one direction and then the other. Try to let your head relax so you're not holding your head in any specific way. As the hips move, the head can move. And it doesn't have to be a circle. It could be a figure eight. It could be more like a snake slithering through that movement. Just letting go of the tension that you may have inadvertently, the effort more than tension in the lower back from the back bends. And when you're ready, coming back to all fours and then downward dog. And then from downward dog, we're going to step the feet forward, one and then the other. And then hands to shins, lengthening, breathing in. Exhale to release. You can take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll lift all the way up with a breath in. Bringing the palms together like you're gathering light. And then releasing the palms to the heart. Letting that light in your heart meet the light in your hands and feel that synergy. And then exhale to release. So next one, just to release the shoulders and the lower back a little bit, we're going to work with external and internal rotation of the shoulders. So as the arms come forward, the thumbs turn out, palms turn up. You lift the arms up in external rotation, and then you'll bend the knees. You'll come forward. You'll turn the palms up behind you with the thumbs facing in, and let the head come down and let the arms lift. So coming forward, breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, palms back behind you, arms back behind you. So inhale, lift. Exhale, bend your knees as you come forward. If it feels good, you might even move a little more quickly. And this time when you're upright, stay up and let the arms release down to your sides. Take a moment to let your breath and the energy in your body settle. And we'll work next with the half squat, Utkatasana, just to warm up the thighs a little bit. So taking a breath in, we'll reach the arms up, palms overhead facing each other. As you exhale, bend your knees and move your hips back as you bring the hands to the thighs. Keep your chest lifted, and then inhale and lift. So exhale like you're sitting in a half squat or sitting on a high chair. Good. If you want a little more effort, you can leave the arms in front or overhead as you sit down. We'll do one more dynamically and then we'll stay. So choose your arm position. You can always change it, whichever suits you better, easier, more challenging, most challenging, and of course, the lower you sit with your hips, the more you're going to find this position challenging. And then when you're ready, lifting all the way up. Exhale and release. Just take a moment to notice how your body feels now. Notice the temperature. Feel the pressure on your skin of your clothing or the air, your feet on the ground. Notice your heart. Can you feel your heart beating? So we're going to move now into dancer pose. I think probably most of you are familiar with this pose. So I'm going to show you from the side. So we're going to start by shifting the weight onto one foot. If you need to hold on to something, by all means do. Find your balance on that one foot and be cautious not to lock your standing leg, which can create imbalance. So keeping softness through the pose. You can reach back to take your foot or your ankle here. If you can't quite reach, you might hold your pant leg or use a sock or a belt if you have one. This shoulder that's reaching back for the foot is going to come forward and down a little bit. So you're really placing the shoulder into the socket. The other arm, you're going to turn the palm up in front, external rotation, lift it up. You can have the palm turned up or to the side, whatever is more comfortable for you. And that shoulder is drawing back. So from here, you can start to press the foot back. As you press the foot back, you can let the body come forward. And you're going to keep drawing that back shoulder forward, the forward shoulder back. So it's really a strength pose, trying to contain rather than going as far as you possibly can here. Right. When you feel ready to come out of the pose, you can lower the knee and lower the arm. and then release the foot. Give everything a little bit of a shake, and then we can try the other side, and I'll do this side forward facing. So you're going to shift the weight to the other foot. Again, make sure you're not locking that leg, but keeping it soft. You can reach behind you for the other foot, and then bring the knees close together. Think about this back shoulder pulling down a little bit and forward. You're going to rotate the other arm so palm is up or facing to the other side. And lift it right up overhead. And then pressing back, straight back with the leg, forward with the shoulder. As you reach forward with the forward arm, you're going to pull back with that shoulder. So we're trying to stay pretty square here. There's lots of ways to do this pose. So this is one of the ways of building strength and containment in the pose. Right, you can bring the knees back together, release the arm, release the leg, just give it all a shake out. So another way that you could do the pose, and as long as your shoulders are happy with this, we can create a little bit more of a shoulder stretch here. So only again, if your shoulder's happy with this. So again, I'll show from the side. So we've been working to bring the shoulder in and down. If you want a little more stretch, you can start to think about that shoulder opening a little as you draw the leg back. I like to actually do this with both hands on the foot. So I'm just gently allowing the shoulders to come back, and my foot is drawing gently back the arms. And releasing. Do a few forward rotations with the shoulders if you've tried that variation. And if that doesn't feel right for your shoulders, then just holding the foot and getting a little more stretch in the thigh. So you can try the other leg. And even just holding with both hands. And there's lots of things we can do here. So as we did before, we can kind of gently let the shoulders release back and add a little gentle stretch with the foot. Another option is to keep the arms down and pull down with the foot. So drawing down across the tops of the shoulders. And of course, it requires a little more balance here because both hands are being used, so it's hard to use the wall to hold on. So you can release the leg if you're still in the pose. And we'll do a few forward rotations with the shoulders. Right, and then taking the arms to cactus or goalpost position to the sides, elbows down, chest lifts a little as you move the elbows back, breathe in. Then as you exhale, cross your arms over your chest, take your hands to opposite shoulders. Breathe into the back of your body. You can either stay here as you are, or if you want, you can do the arms of the eagle. We're not going to do the eagle pose itself, but this gives a nice opening to the back of the body. So the arms of the eagle, the backs of the hands to come towards each other, and whichever arm is lower, you're going to, if possible, tuck that hand behind to grab the thumb side of your other hand. I don't know if you can see that. So there. Notice which arm is on top. We'll release, come to the goal or cactus position again, goal post. Drawing down and back, breathing in, and then other arm comes on top. Again, you can stay here, and this opens up the back of the body nicely. You can breathe into the back space, even dropping the head down a little if you like. Or if the eagle arms feel good for you and that's an option, you can come into the eagle arms, and even a little movement. And the eagle arms can help to bring some release. Right, and then when you're ready again, you can release the arms. Just give everything a little shake out. Right, and then let's add a forward bend. So breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, coming forward, bend your knees, release your neck. And let's repeat that a few times. So coming up, you can bring the palms together if you like and gather all that good light and energy and then spread it out around you. So every movement, you're creating this kind of bubble of light around you. Reaching up and reaching all the way down. If you like, you can stay in that forward bend for a few breaths. Again, keep your knees soft so the spine is long. You could have your hands or elbows on your thighs or let the arms dangle or cross the arms if you like. And then from your forward bend, you can make your way back to downward dog. So stepping the hands forward and feet back. If you like downward dog and you feel good here, spend a little time here. Whenever you're ready, back to all fours. You can do a few movements of cat-cow or all fours to child's pose or circling the hips or again, whatever feels good for you. If you like, you can spend some time in child's pose. Again, feel your breath move into the back of your body in child's pose. Really explore that movement. And then take your time as you are ready to come out of child's pose and come back onto, or come onto your mat on your back. We haven't actually been there yet in this class, so we're going to make our way onto our backs. You can start with your feet on the floor, knees bent, arms a little bit away from your body out to the sides. Now focusing a little bit more attention on your exhale. So we're letting go of the effort of the practice. Coming into a little bit quieter space. I'm going to work with a really soft and line your feet under your knees. The heels are right under your knees. Pressure into your feet to feel your lower back move more firmly into the ground. And then take as many breaths as you like to slowly lift up with your hips, peeling the spine up off the ground. You can pause, stay for a breath or two in bridge, and then take as many breaths as you like to slowly release and lower back down. So again, coming up slowly. When you come to the top of the pose, find the most easeful way of being in the pose for a breath or two, and then slowly release. You might imagine you're giving yourself a little bit of a massage along the ground as you lift and lower the spine. Do one or two more at your own pace. Arms and shoulders, face, neck, jaw relaxed. Only using the amount of effort required, not more. And eventually making your way back to the ground. And we'll work with the gentle twist. So the breath here, exhaling as the knees go to the sides. You can turn your head the opposite way if you like. And then inhaling as the knees come to center and exhaling as you go to the other side. You're going to go at your own pace. Inhale to the center, exhale to the side. Inhale, center. And if you want to stay on each side for a few breaths, feel free to stay. If you want to keep moving, another option, or whenever you feel complete with the twist, you just come back to the center. And eventually, there's no rush, but eventually when you do feel complete with the twist, you want to do a counter pose before we move into Shavasana. So counter pose brings the spine back to alignment, and a couple of options here would be to bring the knees in and allow them to move forward and back. You can coordinate your breath. So you're inhaling as the knees move away, exhaling as the knees move in, or the other option, there's a few different options, would be to stretch the arms and legs out with your breath in, and then squeeze into your chest as you exhale. So either variation, either counter pose, whatever you feel more drawn to, more called to. You can stay with that movement or just hug the knees in, or if you like, you can reach down for your ankles or feet and come into happy baby pose, rocking a little side to side. A little more release and stretch and massage for the back. Great. And if there's anything else that you're craving in terms of movement before we come to stillness, honor that within your body. And then whenever you feel ready, you can start to make your way to Shavasana. Legs can be bent or straight, arms can be on the body or on the ground. If you want extra clothing or a blanket, just making sure that you're going to be warm enough. So take a moment to settle, to get comfortable. Find your way into the best position for you to relax in Shavasana. And then coming back to your breath once you get settled. And again, we'll focus on the exhalation. So as you exhale, feel your body start to let go of holding, let go of effort or tension, and drop down into the earth. Breathing in and out with ease. Feel yourself soften into the earth with each exhalation. And soften the muscles around your face, your eyes, your forehead, your jaw. And as you exhale, let the whole weight of your head sink down into the mat, into the ground. Let go as completely as possible. Feel the muscles of your neck release, particularly from the base of your skull and the back of your neck down into the shoulder blades. So letting go of that tension in the back of the neck. And as you do, feel your shoulders drop just a little more. The collarbones widen and your arms release. Bring your awareness to your hands, particularly the palms of your hands, and notice what you feel there. Notice what's present. Any sensations. Sometimes when we're still, we don't feel much sensation. That's really normal, but if you feel like you're kind of numb and you want to move a part of the body to feel it, that's totally fine. Feeling the breath within your torso, and particularly the exhale again, dropping down with each exhale. Feel the muscles around your rib cage start to relax, around the belly and the lower back, letting go. Feel the weight of your pelvis sink into the ground. Relax the muscles of your buttocks and feel yourself drop a little bit more. And then allow your thighs to release, your knees to soften, calves, ankles. And bring your awareness down to your feet. And again, if you don't feel any sensation in your feet, you might just notice that. Or you might bring some movement to find some sensation. And notice what's present in your feet. What are you aware of way down there in your feet? And now as you breathe, imagine you're drawing the light in with each breath. Inviting the light to your fingers, to your toes, to the crown of your head. Each breath bringing the light in. Each exhale letting go of tension. Each inhale inviting the light more deeply into the body, breathing in. Exhale, soften, let go of tension. As you breathe that light into your body, you might feel quite full of light and imagine the light shining through your skin, creating a kind of aura or halo all around your body. So light's quality is to expand. Feel the light expand within you, expand around you. And let that light be a healing light, healing your body, your mind, your emotions, your heart, your spirit, your loved ones. And as you continue to breathe with the light, I'll share with you a chant that invites that light into all those areas and aspects of our being so that we might be purified by that light. Om Annamaya Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Pranamaya Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Manomaya Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Vijnanamaya Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Anandamaya Me Shuddhantam Jyotiraham Viraja Vipapma Bhuya Sakasvaha. So now let's gather that light. So we've expanded the light out into the whole body and around the body. And let's draw it back in with the breath. So as you breathe in, imagine you're calling that light into your heart. You're breathing it into the heart like you could concentrate it into a little seed. Draw it in and hold it there in the heart. And then if you want to stay a little longer in Shavasana, you're welcome to stay. If you're ready to move and get on with your day, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch and move any way that would feel good to you. And eventually, if you are coming to sit, you can roll first to your side and then come upright. And if you want to, you can stay lying down, and we'll do a bit of gesturing to end the class, but you can certainly do this lying down or sitting up, so whatever works for you. So we're going to bring the hands to the heart, one over the other. Connect with that light that you've brought like a seed into your heart. And bring into your mind someone, it could be a person or a group of people or several people that you know could use extra light today. Maybe they're a frontline worker, healthcare worker, or perhaps someone you know who's struggling with this situation and becoming depressed. Perhaps someone close to you, or maybe a friend. Or perhaps just someone you know more peripherally. Bring them into your mind, into your heart. Imagine them surrounded with light. And you might create the intention of bringing something concrete into their life today, maybe a phone call or a text, or if it's someone you're living with, a hug, or just the words, I see you, I'm with you, can be so helpful at this time. So have the intention, if it feels appropriate, to send that light out both energetically but also concretely in some way today. And then we can open the arms and send that light out. Imagine it going to that person and to whoever else needs it. Hands back to the heart. Breathing in and then exhale to send that light out. And when we draw on our own light and send it out, our own light only gets stronger. It doesn't get depleted by sharing it, it gets stronger. One more time, sending it out. And then bringing the hands together in Namaste position. Namaste.